When I started this episode and I dived head first, I did not think I would see this much death. I thought the Biscuit and Fumiton episodes were crazy, but this right here, this episode, oh my god. Oh my god. I love the atmosphere of this episode. I fucking love it. What really stood out to me is that this episode was proving that, for one, no character is safe. Number two, it lets us know that our characters can't just go into the middle of a war zone and expect to live. Because I've seen a lot of series, I've read a lot of series, and there's many times where characters will go into a battlefield, rush into a big war zone, and then they'll walk out with just some scrapes and cuts here and there, maybe some bruises, and that's about it. Sometimes they might lose a limb. But with this, when it starts off, the episode, you see a bunch of our characters pretty much about to die. Like, their eyes are all busted up, their bodies are busted up, they can't even walk, and it opens your eyes up to, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that was my first general reaction. Like, when I started the episode, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I thought I missed an episode. I really did. I thought I missed an episode when this episode started. I'm like, whoa, did I miss something? And when the episode carries on, we found out the situation. I'm like, oh, shit. And Tekadon is in a full-scale war right now. Like, they're doing everything they can. They're throwing everything they can at the military to try to get the politician to his meeting and get it reelected. And to see how this was done, I love that. I love this episode for that, because there was so much death, so much carnage, and this scene right here, what we are seeing in this episode, it's been built up. It didn't just come out of nowhere. This didn't really just pull in a Kami Ga Kill anime. It didn't just start killing off characters left and right and say, oh, you should feel bad, and you know, all these characters are dead, there's no plot armor. It was not exactly like that, because the entire purpose of this fight with all these deaths had been built up since Fumiton's death and Biscuit's death. And the last episode and the previous episode, it was all building up for this very moment of how all the members of Tekadon will lay down their lives to accomplish the goal they set out, to get to their destination. They have no home to go back to. They can't return. They only have their destination that they're looking for, and that's exactly what they're doing. They can only continue to push forward. And so with the loss of a comrade, which many comrades died in this episode, it's where they are building a better future, a better staircase for Tekadon can carry on. And this is a little bit dark, but the analogy, it reminds me a lot of Griffith. If you remember Griffith from Berserk, that's exactly what this reminds me of. Pile up the corpses. That's exactly what it reminds me of. I'm not going to spoil the entire plot details, but I mean, if you remember Griffith, how he was constantly piling up corpses, making a path of bodies, and then making a mountain of bodies just so he can reach that shiny castle in the sky. Well, that's kind of what this reminds me of. It's not the exact same, of course not, but it reminds me a lot of it, of how Tekadon is going to continue to pile up the corpses to make their future brighter. They're willing to sacrifice everything just for the few that live on can have a very good life. And it's a very dark way to look at it, but I really like these type of stories, and especially the way the atmosphere was giving it that type of oomph to it. Now, besides that, this episode had a lot of good action in it. Oh my god, if you're an action fan, you're gonna fall in love with this episode, like, straight up. I mean, regardless of all the characterization, character development, all this other stuff behind the scenes, all these different, meanings and stuff, there was some good action in this episode, and if that's really what you really care about when it comes to Gundam, you're definitely gonna have, your feel with it this episode, because this was a fucking amazing episode when it came to action, and a lot of carnage at that. I mean, a lot of blood, a lot of violence, a lot of characters dying left and right, and I mean, I feel like it's actually fair that our side lost a lot of people at once, because if you look at previous, fights, big fights going on, a lot of, the military against, Tekadon have lost. A lot of people they fight usually lose, or they lose a lot more than what Tekadon loses, and then, so Tekadon losing all these people at once, it really shows that, they can lose people too. They're not the only ones that are going to be constantly winning over and over and over and over again. So I do like how that was done. So great action throughout this episode. When Ein came in, oh my god, when Ein came in and just started killing everybody, I knew he was going to be a monster, because, how he was attached to the robot, he pretty much became a living robot. It's still ridiculous when you see him put in action, how he's just wrecking everybody and stuff. He's just straight up doing everything he can to get his vengeance. And it's so creepy. I wonder exactly how he's going to be brought down, because Mika's going to be fighting him, because the end of the episode gives us a cliffhanger to where Mika rushes in and is about to fight Ein. Now, judging by some certain statements we found out from some characters before they died, which, oh my god, some of the best girls died this episode. Fuck. So, some of the best girls fucking died, and I'm pretty upset about that. I'm mad fucking salty, but damn it, I'm watching, Gundam because it is a series that is very mature and has a very good, plot, so if a character has to die, I guess it has to be, but still, it sucks. It fucking sucks. It sucks a lot, like one of my freaking favorite female characters died, but fuck it, let's just continue on. So Mika's going in, and he's fighting Ein. Now, we didn't really get to see a big battle yet, because it was just getting built up for that very moment at the end of the episode. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen, how Mika's going to stand and last, because Mika doesn't necessarily need to win against Ein. He just needs to stall him long enough for the election can happen. So if Mika can hold off for a good 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, just, a certain time frame, it might be enough. It doesn't necessarily mean that, Mika needs to win, but knowing Mika, he probably will try to win. He'll probably try to kill Ein, which it might not necessarily happen, because Ein's one of those type of characters in the series that's going to be very important later on for the late parts of the series. Like, I could see Ein probably being one of the final battles of Gundam Iron Blood Orphan, like, one of the final battles, like when the series is about to wrap up, because I think we have another, 25 plus episodes left. When the series is about to wrap up, I feel like that's when Ein will be defeated, if he is defeated, if he, actually doesn't turn good or something, or learn his ways, but we'll see where it goes. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day, or nights, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.